The year 2018, 2019 and early 2020 had a lot of YouTubers and influencers go gaga over the Mamaearth products. Cut to mid-2020, we've had a different set of voices coming out, and the same influencers who kind of loved Mamaearth products are now coming out and raising concerns about the quality of the product and also distancing themselves from the brand. What changed? In this video, we're going to be talking about what is it that you can do to make a better decision next time onwards. Because if you heard your favorite influencer and went and bought the Mamaearth product, your skin might not have done too well under it. Plus, of course, you wasted money. So we are going to be talking about how you as a consumer can understand brands, get to know your influencer better, and how you can make better decisions for your skin and hair. Let's go. About who do you trust and how do you trust? So let's get started. The first thing is very important to understand how do brands and influencers work. Well, the brand will approach an influencer and say, I want you to position this XYZ product. The influencer has 3-4 options. 1, do a night routine, position the product as something that they use in the night. The audience doesn't know that they were paid for it. 2nd, morning routine, here's a product. The audience doesn't know they were paid for it. My acne blemish routine, here's a product. The audience doesn't know they were paid for it. The audience doesn't know because the Indian government has no rules that once you are positioning a product, the product that you're getting paid for, the customer needs to know that up front, not in the description, not as a comment, but up front when the conversation begins that they were paid for this product. The FTC in the US is very, very strict. If any brand has paid you for the product positioning, you have to declare it up front. You cannot assume that the consumer knows about it, so therefore you can't hide it in the description, you can leave it as a careless comment, and you can't just say, oh, I thought you knew. You have to declare it. The Indian YouTubers and influencers don't have to do any such thing. You took money to position that product, the audience should have known about it. So what does it take for anyone to become a beauty blogger, a YouTuber, influencer in the beauty space? It takes no qualification. You don't have to have any education. You don't have to have any field experience. You don't have to have any research experience. Anybody can become a beauty influencer, a beauty blogger. And if you kind of connect with the audience, well, more power to you. You succeed very well. But that is where a lot of issues start coming up, because how the influencer community gets there, if they don't have knowledge about the beauty industry or have not worked in the beauty industry, their knowledge is coming from other YouTubers or it's coming from the research papers that they see. And the biggest problem lies here. Anybody who is expressing their opinion on YouTube is also getting their opinion from the same university, the Google University that you are going to. The Google University is here to serve us. If I want to look on the Google page of how EOs are or essential oils are good for me, the Google University will serve me all information telling me how EOs are great. If I look for how EOs are bad for me, it'll serve me all the information telling me how EOs can be really damaging. The university is here to serve us. Google is here to serve us, not to tell us the right opinion or the right research. And that is where the problem is. So if as a YouTuber, you internally believe that this kind of ingredient does not work, or if you see 6-7 articles which keep telling you that this ingredient is not good, you form something called the confirmation bias. You get to believe, you bring yourself to believe this ingredient is not good. But we as consumers are only listening to one voice. We are not going back and researching on where this information is coming or whether this information really works for me or not. And that's how the industry functions. And that kind of leaves the field open for a lot of misinformation, for a lot of misguided information, and for a lot of opinions that are sent out without the proper backing or premise of research. You see, to say that I did research on a particular ingredient is not the best or the most convincing argument. Because research is a lifelong profession that people follow. They are researchers by profession. They study in how to do research, they study in how the research studies are conducted, and then they create research papers. Now, even after doing all of that their research can get debunked because the quality of study was not good, the sample size was not good, the quality of the way the entire research was tabulated was not good. So research is a very serious field. It does not equal to you spending 80 hours or even 100 hours on YouTube and gathering information and saying, this is my research, and with my research I can tell you with full assurance that this ingredient doesn't work, or this product doesn't work, or this works, or this doesn't work. So you as an audience need to be aware of that. So when you take advice for or against a product, you need to do your own homework. And in this video, I'm going to be telling you just how you do it. And not only do you do it well. So as you begin your journey in understanding which is the right product for you, it's important to understand the brand behind the product. The way the brands decide which product they're going to be putting out in the market and how they're going to be creating those products is a very simple process. This decision is taken right at the beginning of when they set up their organization or start deciding that they're going to be doing a skincare or a hair care line. The decision is taken right there. What kind of product it's going to be? Is it going to be a cheap product? Is it going to be a mid-level product, or is it going to be a very expensive product? This decision decides what kind of ingredients will go into each of these products. Not to say that the cheapest product will have the worst ingredients or the most expensive product will have the best ingredients. It doesn't quite work like that. Every ingredient or every mother ingredient has so many variations that one of these variations will fit into a mid-level product or into an expensive product or into a cheap product. Combining these ingredients is where the real art is. How the product is composed together, which means that you need to look at all the ingredients together and see whether they work for your skin or not. So to take the Mamaearth brand as an example, the brand philosophy behind this product is that all the products are going to have a lot of fillers, and they're going to have the initial optics of presenting to you, the consumer, that it's got a lot of plant-based and plant extracts in it. But when you go down to see the ingredient list on their website, you realize that the good botanicals or the plant extracts which they told you are the key ingredients are somewhere down in the middle or right at the bottom. And if you know how ingredients are packed into a product and how they're listed, the ingredient with the highest quantity comes right up and the one with the lowest quantity goes right down. So if your key ingredients or the botanicals, the reason behind why you bought that product is right at the bottom, the benefit of that particular ingredient in your product is not too much at all. In fact, the fillers will generally come up top. So stuff like aqua, DEAs, pegs will be right on top. And then you're going to have the good so-called botanicals or key ingredients at the bottom or somewhere lower middle. And that is where the entire story of a product is, or a brand is. Once you start understanding these ingredients and the composition, the whole product's blueprint, or the full how do you say it, पूरा कहानी का खुलासा यहीं पे हो जाता है. You just take 3-4 products from this brand, you see the ingredients and you see exactly how the ingredients are placed, what kind of ingredients they are using, and that's a very good point to understand whether you're going to put your money on this brand or not. The likely question you're coming up with is, how do I understand ingredients and how do I understand what they do for you? It is the simplest things on the block, and it is what 98% of YouTubers or beauty influencers do. And I do it too. Despite the fact that I'm professionally qualified in hair and skin, there are sites that I go to visit because there are so many ingredients that you've got to go back and understand what the ingredient is and how does it play with other ingredients in the product. So one of the most popular sites that the community uses is the Paula's Choice. You go in there, you see what type of ingredient it is. It also tells you whether it's good for you or not. And it also tells you what it does for your skin, the knowledge that you need. You can also go to Lab Muffin Science blog. This lady is a PhD, so she knows what she's talking about. Look at her blog, understand the product, understand the ingredients, and understand whether it's going to be good for your skin or not. This exercise literally takes you 15 minutes. And you are empowered in making the right decision and the right choice by your skin and hair. You could also listen to Hiram. Hiram has had quite a few years in the beauty industry. He's worked in the field, so he really knows his stuff of what he's talking about. By no stretch of imagination, I'm saying that only the Western voices need to be heard, but I follow them because I know for sure that they are professionally qualified and their opinion is measured and is well researched technically, and is also something I can trust. Before I sign off, as someone who's worked in the beauty industry and has worked with thousands and thousands of clients for the skin and hair issues, I would like to leave you with a very important piece of information. Good skin and good hair is really a factor of three things: your nutrition, your physical wellness, and the last thing is your topical care. So it's 60% nutrition, it is 30% exercise or your physical wellness, and it's 10% the products that you put on your face. So please pay attention to your nutrition. I'm sure you follow beauty bloggers and influencers from Bengal as well as Kerala. They have gorgeous hair and gorgeous skin. Well, yes, they're putting all that stuff on their face, and the pumpkin on their face or the matcha tea on their face is making them look great, and you believe that's the only thing. But if you pay attention to the diet, you realize they have one of the best diets. Their diet is rich in fish, it's rich in seafood, and it's rich in fats. In Kerala, coconut oil is a big component of their nutrition. So their gorgeous hair is not coming just because they're putting coconut oil on their hair. It's coming because those rich fats are in their food. Same thing in Bengal. Yes, they do use mustard oil on their face. I know it because I know a lot of Bengalis and I was part of a Bengali family once upon a time. They do use it as a practice, but that's not the only reason why they have great skin and great hair. Their diet is so rich and so beautifully well balanced with the good fats from the seafood diet. And that brings me to the point that you've got to pay attention to your nutrition before you spend a whole lot of money putting 10,000 products on your face and hair. The battle really begins from the inside out. And what about the beauty influencers and the YouTubers that we all follow and love, and so do you? Well, here's the thing. It's good to hear their opinion, it's good to respect what the work they are doing, but it's also equally important to kind of weigh in and see if that information and knowledge is also backed by somebody who has been in the field, who's actually has the professional qualification and the research backing as a methodology and as an education perspective, and not just research on the YouTube or research on Google. It's just good to weigh in both the opinions so that you as an audience get the best of both worlds. YouTubers and influencers may sponsor products which tomorrow down the road they may feel is not the right thing to do, or maybe the product is not good. But here is the thing, they are here to make money and they have to make money. It's a part of livelihood for them. And sponsorship deals are an important part of that. So yes, it's not to deny that they should do that, but it's you as an audience who needs to decide what is the right opinion for you. It doesn't matter how that opinion is coming, it doesn't matter where that opinion is coming from. The ultimate judge or the ultimate gate to your skin and hair is you. So please be conscientious about what you put on your skin and hair. It's very easy to reach out for a product and put it on your face, and it's the easiest thing to do. It's undoing the damage of the wrong skincare and hair care that can take a very, very long time, and sometimes can irreversibly affect the way your skin and hair is. So that requires a little bit of a pause and thinking that should I back this product or not. I have to say that the best way to take care of your skin and hair is to use simple products and to be in the slow lane for your skin and hair. If you like a product, it works for you, please stick to it. Beauty is not like fast fashion where you have to get the latest product and the latest hair care product. It doesn't work like that at all and shouldn't work like that at all. Our mums, grandmoms and great-grandmoms use just one cream their entire life, and you have to say they had the most gorgeous skin and hair. Yes, the elements of pollution were not there, but it also has a lot to do with just keeping your skincare simple and working with the products that worked for you and sticking to them. I have worked for my skin to be where it is despite being professionally qualified in it, and I've had bad skin in between for a number of reasons. And today I'm at a point where beyond a little bit of concealer for my eyes, I don't use any makeup. And the reason I don't use any makeup is because I don't need to use any makeup. That is where my skin is. And yours can be too. Just give it time, keep your skincare simple, and be very careful before you reach out for the first product that your favorite influencer told you is great. Skincare is not fast fashion. Please don't give it to the trend. Till I catch you next time, take care, be good to your skin and hair.